Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today's session is the third and final part of a three-part series on artificial intelligence, where we discuss the various concepts to help you learn and implement AI in your applications. In today's session, we will create an intelligent search engine and deploy it on Azure. You will learn how to upload your own content and add AI features to the engine, train and test the engine, and integrate it with your own applications through APIs. My name is Hussam Mohsini. I'm the program manager for Microsoft Reactor in Abu Dhabi. Microsoft Reactors are hubs for founders and developers to meet, learn, and connect to local peers, as well as industry-leading ideas and technology from Microsoft partners and the open source community. It's also home to the Microsoft for Startups program. With a diverse mix of hands-on workshops, expert panels, and community events, there's something for everyone. Check out our calendar of events on meetup.com and join our upcoming sessions. We continue this journey with our speaker, Dalia Tarek. Dalia is an Azure technical trainer at Microsoft, specialized in data and artificial intelligence, passionate about AI, machine learning, and data analysis. She keeps her customers up for success by providing deep technical consulting and advising through her trainings. Keep the Q&A tab open during today's session. I'll be sharing some resources with you, and this is where you can send us all the questions during the session. I'm now handing over the mic to Dalia to take us through this last part of our AI journey.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for the amazing introduction. And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. Okay, so my name is Dalia Tarek, and I am a technical trainer for Microsoft based in UAE. And I usually cover data and artificial intelligence, and I specify in AI, basically. So for today's session, as part of our three series, this is the last and final session, and today I'm going to talk about Azure Cognitive Search, and this is part of the ready-made APIs for AI that are built on Azure, where you can deploy your own search engine with your own documents on your own subscription. So let me share my screen and I'll get started. Okay, so what I spoke about earlier were Azure Cognitive Services. So these are basically artificial intelligence services that are deployed and already built for you to use, ready to use just with an API. So you don't need to code, you don't need to program anything, you just use it as it is and integrate it with within your application with an HTTP request or an API request. So the services available are vision services, speech services, language, decision, and search. So vision we covered before, basically anything that's related to images or videos, speech, converting speech to text and text to speech, translation, and language, meaning understanding human language and converting it into digital text or converting the meaning behind it into knowledge that we can use. Decision making, whether it's recommender engines or decision making engines that we usually integrate into websites or any platform that needs some AI into it, and search. So today's session, I'm going to give you an example on how to deploy a simple web search within your own application, only private to your own use. It's not a public web search. So if you have some documents that you want to use, if you have some documents that you want to create a search engine on, you basically deploy them and then apply an intelligent search on them, meaning that it's not a normal search where you just type in the text box and it gives you the exact text. No, it's going to be more intelligent than that, and you can add in a lot of services into that. So this is the architecture of the search. I'm using the JFK file cognitive search demo. This is a very famous demo that's been created on Microsoft Azure. And I'm going to show you the demo later, but this is just simply the architecture and how it works. So the search engine is like any other search engine. You just type in the text and you get the result. But we do have some integrated features into it, meaning that we have some AI features available within this text. So this text combines any sort of document that you want to use. Word document, Excel document, a database, images, PDFs. So all of these documents, you can combine them all together into one repository. And this is the part of the document over here. So it can even be unstructured data. It can even be uploaded on the storage and or a SQL database, so anything, and you combine it into the documents over here. Now, you can even combine images all together with documents. So if you want to search for something inside of an image, if you want to have everything searchable all together, or maybe you want to see something clearly, you want to do some knowledge mining on your own data and make it more organized, and it might help you analyze your data better, then it's definitely better to combine images and documents all together. Now, on these documents, what you can do is you can apply all of these features for search. First feature is something called OCR. So OCR is optical character recognition. So this is basically reading any text inside of an image. So for example, if you have an image of a signed document or a handwritten document, OCR basically extracts the text from the images and turns it into digital text. This way, whenever you're searching for anything inside of your repository, you can also search for text inside of an image inside of your repository. It can be handwritten, it can be printed, if it's an old invoice, for example, an old document, for example. If anything text inside of an image, you can detect it through these technologies. There's also computer vision service. So if it's an image of a dog, then whenever you type in dog, it's going to give you the dog image. If it's whatever a description inside of the image, you can search for it, and then it's going to detect everything inside of your image. Now, after all of these features combined together, then you can combine it all into text, where you could just search for whatever inside of your documents, whatever inside of your images, and you get the results. So the results, you get them in the form of entities and cryptonyms, and we're going to show this later on as well. And in the end, you're going to just see your information on all of your documents structured in a well-mannered format, and then have it all in a search engine. Now let's have a look at this demo over here. This is a nice and cool demo, I think. So it's someone used the Azure Cognitive Services to create this. So this is basically about John F. Kennedy, the US president, and they usually have some old CIA documents that are scanned or printed or something. So these are very old documents. And what they wanted to do is that they wanted to investigate into this case within these old documents and create a knowledge mining platform on these documents in order to get some information. So over here, this website has been built on top of Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services. And what I do is basically I type in a text over here, click on search, and then I get these results like this. So these results are basically whatever are in the document repository for this engine. And as you can see, these are all scanned documents of old text that were either printed or handwritten, and even some images of the person. And you see it was detected like this. So whenever I typed in a word, it just gathered everything all together. A document along with an image of the person. So this is the guy called Oswald. So I searched for Oswald over here. It got me the documents that have the word Oswald written in it and the picture of Oswald himself. Some more documents as well. So this is basically how it works. If I click open on this one, for example, you can see all of this was converted into digital text and converted like this. Okay, so this is basically just reading information, important information from a scanned document and turning it into a repository where you can search for anything that you want. This is very important whenever you want to organize your document or do some knowledge mining. So this helped them just look at their documents and look at everything all together and get a clearer picture when they're investigating through these documents. Now let's have a look at this one as well. So this was handwritten as well. Of course, it's a very bad quality because it's very old and the handwriting is not that good. but it was able to detect as good as it can and turn it into text like this. Another thing combined over here is the image factor. So over here, this is the picture of Oswald himself. So what the computer vision feature detected inside of this is that this is a description of what's inside of the image. This was extracted from the computer vision API inside of cognitive search. So this API detected that this is Lee Harvey Oswald. This is his name, and he's a famous guy, so it was able to detect him. And then that he's posing for the camera. So this is a description of what's inside of the image. Also, there are some annotations of the image itself. So there's a wall, person, text, sign, and posing. So these are all descriptions of the image itself and of the person himself. Along with the person, it was also able to detect the text inside of the image and transcribe it like this. So you see here this sign, it was combined as well over here. So this adds a very, very important factor whenever you're searching inside of your documents, whenever you have any documents that you want to get knowledge from. This combines all of the features together. The feature of a person of the image inside of the image, the text inside of the image, along with the other text documents that will help you organize your documents better. Another thing that they were able to do is that they were able to do some linking between what they just extracted. So extracting the knowledge, extracting the names inside of the, or these are the important names that they wanted to learn about from the documents. So they extracted all of these documents and then had some link together with where were they mentioned together before. So this helped them as well do some knowledge mining and do some analysis on their documents and understand what is going on within these documents. So this is a very, very good feature of knowledge mining. It's really intelligent, as you can see, and you can combine a lot of things together. Another thing that you can do is also you can analyze this text itself and do some text analytics on this text and gather some more information about what was written inside of the text. Now let me show you how was this created and how can you create one on your own. Now over here, I have some files. So these files over here are a few images, a few PDFs, PowerPoint, HTML, and some documents available, some text documents in JSON. So let's say, for example, let me open this one. So this is a PowerPoint that has some text written inside of it. Let's open one like this. This is a PDF that has text written inside of it, but this PDF is written in Spanish. Okay, so this is a very important factor as well. I will be able to detect that this is Spanish and even translate the language. Some images. So this is an image, a screenshot, and it has text inside of it as well. So I want to search for this text inside of this image. Another image, for example, of someone speaking and the text available inside of the image as well. And let's see what we can gather from this image. Okay, so what I can do is I want to create a search engine on all of this. So the first step that I need to do, I want to upload all of this on Azure in a storage resource, and then create the search engine based on this. So the first thing is I want to create a resource that's for storage. So I just open my Azure portal over here, type in storage, and I'll get a storage account that I can create. So I just choose my subscription, choose the account name that I want to create. So I'll just name it a search demo storage. Okay, so I just name it any unique name. I can deploy it in any data center I want. I'll just choose UAE North, for example. And over here, these are just some options to choose for the redundancy of the storage and how is it backed up, but no need to get through this now. So I just created the storage resource where I'm going to upload all of my documents. So now it's deploying, it's creating the resource. Okay, so the storage has been created. Now I need to just create a container that's going to contain all of my documents. So I'll just search container. Name it like this, and I'll give it container access so that I'll be able to access it from the search engine. Okay, so now I've created a container and I'm going to upload all of my documents inside of this container. So I'll just go to my documents over here and I'll upload everything all together. Okay, so now everything is uploaded inside of my storage account, inside of this container, and it's ready to use. Now the next step is I want to create a search engine. So I'll just type in search over here. Now I'm going to create a search engine. This is called a search service over here. And I'll name it Dalia Search Demo. I can deploy it in UAE North as well. It's better to deploy it in the same location. And you can choose whatever pricing tier that you want and however it's you want to use it. So these are all of the tiers that you can use. It's all based on your usage, how many documents are you using, and how many requests are you getting for these documents. So you can see all these are different options for the indexes and indexer. So this is basically the search engine. So how many engines can you have inside of your resource, and what's the storage for this search? So some search services need a lot of storage if it's a lot of documents or a lot of features that are stored, and how many search units can you create. So I'll just use a small one for this demo. And I'll create my search. Now it's deploying my search engine. And now I'll be able to create a search engine over here. Okay, so first thing I want to do, so over here, this is your search resource. These are all of the monitoring of your search. So you basically have three main things. First, you have the indexes. These are the search index or the search engine. So think of this as Bing, for example. These are how many Bing engines you have inside of your resource. The indexers are basically the brain where it combines and does all of the work and gives it back to the index. So indexer is basically just the algorithm or the logic that connects to the data and then creates everything and gives it back to the index to have it searchable. And the third and most important thing is the skill set, and this is all of the intelligent features that we're going to add to our own search engine in order to work with it later on. So any computer vision features that you want to add, you add it through the skill set. Any something that you want to detect or read or analyze inside of your data, you add it in the skill sets over here where the indexer is going to read and combine it to the index. And data sources are basically all of the data that we want to have it searchable. Now, the first thing is I want to import my data inside of my search engine and work with it. So first thing, I'm going to click on Import Data. And these are all of the data options that you can connect to. So you can connect to a SQL database, storage, data lake storage, stable storage. So these are all of the options that you can connect to. I'm going to choose Azure Blob Storage. This is where I uploaded my documents. And I'll name this Dalia as well. The data to extract, so it can either extract the content itself or the metadata of the content. So metadata including the file name, the what date it was created, some information about the file itself, or the content of the file. So I'm going to combine both because sometimes you might need the metadata to organize your files or check the name of the file or the date of the file. You can choose your parsing mode, the way it is going to be parsed. Either it's if it's a text, JSON array. And over here, I'm just gonna choose a connection to my storage. This is the container that I created, and I'm just gonna choose my container to be imported. And this is the connection string to the container that I uploaded the data on. Okay. Now, after importing the data into the search engine, I can add in my cognitive skills. So these are all of these skill sets that I want to add inside of my engine, and these have all of the intelligent features that I can add. So the first thing is it allows you to attach cognitive services, and these are the services that I was speaking about earlier. So these are the services over here. Vision, speech, language. So you can integrate any of these API inside of your search engine, and that's what I'm going to do now because I want some vision services to be integrated over here. So I'll click on Create New Cognitive Services, and it redirects me to create a new resource. And I'll add it to the same source group over here. Choose the same region and name this source. Okay. So now I've created the cognitive services, and this is the engine that it's going to use for any AI inside of the engine. So any vision services that you need, any text services that you need, you can use it through here. Okay, so I'll just go back to my search and click on refresh, and here is my cognitive services that has been created. So over here, you can see the option for adding enrichments. So enrichments are basically anything that you want to add, any feature that you want to extract from your data. So let's have a look at what enrichments do we have. This is the skill set name. So this is the name of the skill set that I want to create, and this is what I want to use for this engine. The checkbox over here allows you to enable OCR and merge all text into merged content, meaning that you can do OCR on any documents or images of documents and then extract this text and combine it to the original text and then have it all searchable into one field. Okay, so this basically just combines images inside of text inside of images and combines it with other text documents. Okay, so over here, these are all of the features that you can use. So you can extract people names from text. So these are all text analytics on the text that's extracted from the documents, meaning images and documents. You can analyze the text in this way. You can analyze if this is a person's name and then extract it into people's name, organization names, location names, key phrases, important key phrases that were being mentioned, detecting the type of language that was written, and even translating this, and extracting personally identifiable information. So these are all just analytics available for the text inside of my documents and the text inside of my images, and this is going to be extracted and searchable. The next set of skills is for the image skills, and these are all just generating image tags from images, captions from images, and identifying celebrities, along with the OCR or the optical character recognition. So these are all of the skills that I selected. I'm going to gather all of this information from the documents and have it searchable later on. You do have the option as well to save everything extracted over here, because this is very, very valuable information that you might want to use later on just to analyze your text without the search engine. So you do have the option to save this to a knowledge store and connect it to Power BI and create a dashboard like this. So if you want to analyze the text inside of your documents, you can create a Power BI dashboard like this that analyzes the important text that was being mentioned and how much is it being mentioned like this. So this is very, very useful in case you do want to do more analysis or knowledge mining or on your data. Okay, so I'll go to the next step now, which is creating the index or the engine itself. So this is my first engine, Dalia's engine. And this is all of the features that were being extracted, whether it's the normal extraction of the content itself, metadata, and the cognitive skills that were added before. So every item over here, every field, you can set it to be retrievable, filterable, sortable, facetable, searchable. So these are all features that you can manipulate with and work with in order to extract what you want to extract. So retrievable meaning that you can just retrieve it in your data, filter on it, sort with it, or create something called facets with it, just like the one that I showed you in the demo, or searchable where you can just use it for search and type in search. So for example, I can search for the content itself or for people's name, for example, or something that was extracted from the image caption, for example. So everything over here is searchable, meaning that I can do the search for it. And for everything, you have something called an analyzer, and this basically is for the language. So you can see different analyzer available, and you have one for Arabic as well. So I'll just create my indexer over here and leave it to do all of the work. So it's going to take some time because this is a lot of data, a lot of images, and a lot of stuff that it needs to do. While it's working, let's have a look at it. So over here, this indexer has been created. This is the brain that's doing all the work and analyzing all of the documents, and it's in progress right now. So over here, it's going to give you just the status of your documents, how is it working, and how long is it going to take. So let's give it some time to work. And the way that you're going to use this search engine is basically through an API as well. So after creating your engine, you want to search for the data inside of your engine. And the way you basically do this is that you give a call to this API, this URL, and you get the response in JSON. So let's say you have an engine about your documents and you want to search for someone's name inside of your document. So you take this URL over here, create a GET request, and then type in the word inside of the request that you want to search for, and you get the answer in JSON. So over here, this is an example of a request. So if you don't know this, this is called Postman, and it's designed for creating HTTP requests. So basically, just add in the API URL over here. I added it in over here, and you have these options. So I'm going to use this as a GET request. Inside of the headers, I'm going to add in my key. This is my security key that allows me to connect to my own search engine, and no one else can connect to it without this key. And inside of the parameters over here, this is called search, and this is where I'm going to type in the value that I'm searching for. So I'll just type in anything. If I type in asterisk like this, it's going to search for everything inside of the documents. If I type in something else, another word, for example, John, and click on send, it's going to give me the request as well in JSON. Okay. Let's see how our indexer is doing. Okay, so the indexer has succeeded. It has created the engine. It has analyzed all of the documents and all of the images, applied all of the analytics and AI on the images and the documents, and gave out the result in JSON and saved it all into one place. Now let's try out and search for what we just created. Okay, so this is my search engine, Dalia's engine over here. And this is just a window for you to try out your search engine and see the result over here. But the way you're going to work with it is just you're also going to send a request to this URL. So if I type in this character and click on search, you see it gave me all of the extracted documents, everything, all of the extracted information. Now let's have a look at the first document over here. So this is the first document. This is the storage path of this document. And these are the things extracted. So it didn't find any people's name, any organization, but it did find some key phrases or important key phrases that were being mentioned. So you see, these are important key phrases from the text inside of the documents that were mentioned inside of this document. It detected the language as English, and it translated the text as it is because it's not in a different language. This is the text. And this is the content itself. And these are some images that were available inside of the document itself. Now let's have a look at another document. Okay, so this document has more information gathered from it. So this is a big document over here. And this is the organization extracted. So these are the organizations extracted from the text analysis, just like Microsoft, Azure, all of this. These are the important key phrases that it detected as well. Like this. And the translated text. The big document you see. And these are some entities that were extracted from the text itself. So you see that it identified this as phone number, for example. This was a phone number mentioned. This one as well. Date. So you see all of this text analytics, it's very, very intelligent, and it allows you to add in any feature that you want with your documents, and it's going to create a very, very intelligent knowledge mining engine for you. Organizations like this, extracted, a lot of information. Okay. So now let's have a look at some documents that we know of and see how does it work. Let's have a look at this PDF document, sorry, this PowerPoint document, for example. And let's have search for something that's unique inside of this. So let's try and search for this, for example. I'm just making sure that I'm grabbing the correct document, so I'm just searching for something unique to it. This is the Spanish document. Let's try it. Okay, so this is the document that was gathered. Now let's see what did it gather from this PowerPoint document. Okay, so first off, it just extracted the content as it is. Next thing, it extracted people's name. So Paul, Matthew Henson, Perry, and John F. Kennedy. These are all mentioned over here inside of the document. Organizations. So these are the organizations mentioned. Locations, such as North Pole. And key phrases. So these are all the important key phrases mentioned. And the language of the text itself. Okay. And just extracted some entities or tags from images like this. So you see here with some of the images that were available inside of the PowerPoint, it extracted some tags inside of the image. So whenever you search for something, it's going to look for this and give you the result like this. Captioning for images, for example. So you see here, image celebrities, it identified the image of John F. Kennedy over here, and it tagged the image like this. So whenever I search for John F. Kennedy, I'm going to get the PowerPoint and the slide where John F. Kennedy had the image inside of the PowerPoint. And these entities like this as well. Let's try out this document. So this document is in Spanish. This is a PDF in Spanish. So let me search for this document and see what did it extract. Okay, so this is the document extracted, and this is the information extracted from the document. And you see here, this is the translated text of the document as well. And this is all of the information extracted from the document. So different from this is that it translated the Spanish text into English, and now I can search for something in Spanish or even English inside of the document. Now the document, for example, has some text like this. Let's see what did it extract. Let me type in this text, for example. Now let's have a look. This is all of the text inside of it, and this is all of the information for the document itself and the captioning as well. Okay. And let's have a look at something else. So over here, this is an image that was inside of the repository as well. So let's have a look. Let's search for this red shirt, for example. If I type in red shirt, what will I get? Okay, so this is the first thing that was extracted. Let's see if it's correct or not. So this is the correct document. So it extracted the image here and extracted all of this from the image. So this is the text that's extracted from the image, that's read from the image. So you see here, this is the text over here. It was able to detect it and transcribe it into here. And this is some tags. So you see here, these are the tags inside of the image: text, clothing, person, sign, man, standing. So you can even search for man and standing, and you can get this image as well in the results. So you see, you can gather a lot of information from the search engine, and you can even use this content as it is without having a search engine and just save it inside of a database or inside of a Power BI dashboard and just learn what you have inside of your documents, learn whatever you have inside of your images all together. Let's have another example. So this is an image of Satya Nadella. So I just typed in Satya Nadella, and it gathered the image of Satya Nadella over here. This is the image, and this is the extracted information from the image as well. And this is the detected text from the image, Microsoft and Linux over here. So you see it was detected over here inside of the image, and this is the caption of the image: person, man, cell phone, phone, standing, all of this. So it even detected that he was holding a cell phone inside of his hand. Okay, so you see, these are all of the valuable information that you can gather from the search engine and work with it. Now, the way you can integrate this inside of your application is basically you have this URL and you send the request to it just like this. You send whatever query that you want from the data and then send it and gather the result in JSON. Let's have a look at how can we do this. So over here, this is Postman. This is where I can just create HTTP requests. So I'll just add in my API URL over here, and then I'll add in my key. So I'll just get the key from my resource properties here, copy the key, and add in whatever query I want from the search, click on send, and I get the JSON data like this. Okay, type in anything I want. Let's type in and type in or send the request with whatever query I get, and I get the results like this. So inside of your application, you just send the request and you get the JSON like this. Read the JSON that's inside of it and then create it into a web application or mobile application, whatever you want. So over here, inside of the search service, it allows you to create a demo application. So it allows you to just click on this button. It's going to create a demo application for you if you want. And over here, it's just going to help you to create a web app and download it. And it's going to give you the code or the HTML for your search engine. So just as simple as this, it created a small website for you where you can search for your documents. And it just sends the requests and gets it like this. So if you want to learn how to integrate this to your application, just go to this documentation and have a look at how you can integrate this in your application or create a small search engine application and maybe even create something like this demo. So that's it. I encourage you to try this out with the small documentation that you have. It's all self-guided and it allows you to just learn it in 3 simple steps like this, like I showed you today. And you can even grow your knowledge and even learn how to do more stuff and add more features to your documents. Okay, now it's time for Q&A. If you have any questions, please type it into the Q&A box and I'll be able to respond to your questions. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you, Dalia, for this session today and for the third and final part in this series. We hope to have some questions from the community members since we got some time now on the session. There was a question posted earlier on related to retrieving information from a video. So the question was, can such a network of entities be retrieved from a video?
Okay, so in terms of video, you can have a snapshot from the video available inside of the repository, and then it's going to be retrieved from the video. That's another way that you can use the search engine with video as well. So, and it will retrieve the entities from just like it does from images, but you need to break down the video the way you want it to break down. And also with search engine, with Azure Search, you can add in a code that you want. So if you have anything inside of your documents that you want to customize or add in, you will be able to type in any code with APIs inside of the search engine itself and do your own custom skill set or custom resource as well.
That's great. And a quick reminder, we're doing the survey to understand more the topics that you would love to see at the Reactor. So please spend a minute sending us this feedback. Use the session code 12717 on that survey link so that we can get your feedback. And again, we've got some time on today's session. So if you got any question, please send them through. I shared a couple of Learn modules that Dalia recommended for you to continue the journey after today's session. So this way you can also continue learning lots of resources on Microsoft Learn, and these two will be a good starting point to follow this series. All right, we got a question on, is there a limit on the response size?
A limit on the response size. So its response is usually coming in JSON, so there's no limit because the way you get the responses is depending on the document size and the data size that you have. So there isn't really a limit when you get the response. It all depends on the documents and the extracted data, and it sets up itself within the request.
Awesome. And a quick reminder also, we are recording this session, so it will be part of a series on our YouTube channel. So if you miss any part and if you want to go back and watch the first session or the second, any part that you missed there, you want to review, then you can find that on YouTube. So I'll drop the link to the YouTube channel again in here so that you can be part of the channel. Awesome. Maybe I can use some of this time now, if there are no more questions, to highlight that we're doing a DevOps session with Anthony Prem next month. So I just announced the session that is going to be next. right, let me just give you the link to the next week's session, and this way you can join the session and also continue the learning. Lots of stuff to learn. Anthony is Dalia's colleague, so we will have also some awesome learning experiences here at the Reactor. All right, I just dropped the first session for the first part. Is going to be on Monday, February 1st at 4 o'clock. So join us. I'd like to thank Dalia again for her time and effort in this AI three-part series. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with our community members. We definitely love the information that you shared and learned a lot, and we will continue the journey on Microsoft Learn on the modules that you have recommended, and we hope to see you in the future with more AI content.
Thank you so much, Hassan, for hosting this amazing event. Thank you.
All right, thank you everyone again for joining us. These sessions are going to be on the YouTube channel, so don't miss it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. There will be a playlist specific to this AI series, so you can review at any point of time. Stay safe, everyone, and have a lovely rest of the day. Goodbye.
Thanks everyone for joining. Bye.